All set to go for qualifying for FIA Formula 2 here at the Spanish Grand Prix. The cars just making their way around the circuit, checking out its A-OK before we get the green light in 2 minutes' time. A 4.657 kilometre circuit, 26 laps for the sprint race, 37 for the feature coming up as well as we get ready for what is a blast around an industrial estate as well. Yeah, it's quite surprising actually. When you come to Barcelona, one of the first things that you envision is that it's slap bang in the heart of Spain with a beach right nearby. Well, there is, around about 5 miles away. Where you actually are is in the middle of an industrial park. So it's quite a strange sensation. And when you look around, it feels like you're in a bowl. As you can see here with the view down towards turn number 1, mountains the whole way around. It feels like a natural amphitheatre, and we're all set to go for 30 minutes of action. I'm Josh Birch, alongside me in the commentary box, Omi and Tom Gans, and LA Wilshaw joins us for the first time this weekend. Hi LA, green lights on, we're underway, and nice to have you back. How was your week since Monaco?
Yeah, it's been awesome, been a bit quiet, a little bit, a few errands, a bit of this and that. Nothing much going on, and quite excited that it's a triple header because it gives me something else to do.
Yeah, it's at least we don't get a week off, although then again I don't think I get a week off ever. I don't think this year because of everything we're doing. Omi, the car's out on the circuit. We just saw a cracking F3. You were commentating on that one. A lot of lap time deletions and a lot of traffic. Now that could affect here as well for this session.
Yeah, traffic's going to be a big thing as well, but the big news coming into this is Alexander Dunn has found himself with another penalty. He's got a 3 place for making contact with Victor Martins down into the pit lane entry, and that will be a 3 place which will be given for both races this weekend. So the 10 place is only for the sprint, but the 3 places for both races this weekend. So he'll have 13 place for the sprint, and then he'll go down 3 for the feature on Grand Prix Sunday.
And Tom, that's just more and more penalties that get applied, they get added on, and it's getting a bit embarrassing for the driver who was leading the championship, but up until what happened in Monaco.
Yeah, well, Dunn came into this round with 6 penalty points, didn't he? Did he get any more penalty points, by the way, on top of the 3 place grid shot for the collision? Yeah, how many did he get?
He got 2, so he's now at 8, which means he's 4 away from a race ban.
Most of those have just come from the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be mad.
I mean, he needs... Yeah, well, he needs to just be on his toes from here on in here, I think, Alex Dunn, as he gears up for a qualifying session, which he has taken pole. He has picked up the Aramco pole position award earlier this season. He did it in Monaco last week, didn't he? Because he started on pole and then ended up involved in that crash, which saw multiple drivers retire right on the spot, and we had quite a lengthy delay before the race did get underway, albeit with a reduced race distance, considering they were short on time before the drivers' parade, which needed to be staged, as well as a Porsche Super Cup straight up. Sebastian Montoya, who's had a very unlucky time of it this season, although luck was on his side eventually last weekend when he got that podium after Arvid Lindbergh picked up a time penalty during that feature race, and so Montoya went on to the Formula 2 podium for the first time.
Yeah, the Porsche Super Cup race went well. Could you even call it a race, Omi? You were in the box for it. I don't think it was anything other than a safety car procession.
Yeah, we of course had a red flag, and then we had basically like a 2-minute 30 2-minute 30 race we basically had of them trundling around the streets of Monaco plus 1 lap, so 3 laps of racing in total, and then of course along with that start incident that we had.
Wonderful Spanish fan there actually as well, alongside. Did we tell her that she's not recording? I think we should tell her. LA, you've been around the F2 paddock for a long while now as well, across the past couple of years, and Barcelona feels like a home for these guys, doesn't it? It's their natural place to come and test in the off-season. It's close to most of their factories as well, with Delara build chassis. It's a fun place to be, and as I'm sure you've been to Barcelona many times, it's a weird venue when you're there because you don't feel like you're in Spain. You very much feel like you're in your hometown in an industrial estate.
I'm not the biggest fan of Barcelona, to be honest with you, not the city as in the circuit, probably because of that fact that it's just seems quite industrial and quite organic. But yeah, and to be fair, from my point of view, there's been some quite dull races, certainly in the Formula One. There's been some quite dull races over the years here. Even if if you're a new fan and you nip onto Wikipedia, and you'll see a lot of the races have got quite a lot of writing in them and the description of all the laps and what's happened. And when you get to Barcelona and Spanish Grand Prix, you're actually looking at maybe four lines or 5 lines, and not much happens. Of course, there are races where things have happened, and we can cover that when we cover the Formula One. But yeah, it's been great here. Ollie Behrman is currently the fastest lap holder in Formula 2. He gained that in 2023. He actually took pole, and there's only 3. He was rookie then, and only 3 rookies have ever taken Formula 2 pole, and that's actually in succession over 3 years as well. And only himself, he won that race, and only himself has won from pole. Only himself and Charles Leclerc in 2017. So if we're looking at XF2 drivers, Ollie Behrman's done incredibly well, and I've got high hopes for him over the weekend. And then we also have something for Clement Novalak. Fastest lap in qualifying for that. There is a lap record by Clement Novalak. Tom will correct me. Tom's got a massive understanding of these races, and his technical brain is a little bit better than mine. I rely on research, and Tom relies on his memory. So just tell everyone the difference between Ollie's lap record and Clement Novalak's lap record, if you know, Tom.
Well, the one with Clement Novalak would be the race lap record, so nothing to do with qualifying or practice whatsoever. So he holds the race lap record. If you're referring to Ollie Behrman with getting that pole position, that is most likely to be the track record, which he has at this moment in time. Let's say if anyone can beat it in this session, which, given the fact they're on the soft compound tyres, there is a chance. Do you know the lap time, by the way, of Behrman's LA that you've got?
I didn't. I didn't notice it. Don't know if I've not noted it down. I normally note this down, so I will seek that out. I don't know if it's a 1:23, but do not quote me on that. I will seek that information and get back to you shortly.
I think Omi had that in our Discord chat somewhere on the preview. If that is the correct one. Oh, I see you set the F3 preview during the qualifying session as well. I just flashed up on our monitors. So first lap time's coming through Omi at the moment. Leonardo Forloroli to the top with a 1:25.755. Alexander did go second, but as you said, he's got that grid penalty. Tom said as well, why bother going out in qualifying? But it's 13 for the main sprint tomorrow, so that's probably going to be at the back of the grid anyway. But it's only 3 places for Sunday, so big points could still come.
Yeah, he could still possibly go to like 4th, can't he, Tom, as well, if he gets a pole in this session.
And it's also worth noting they need to set a time within 107% of pole position, otherwise he'll have to get permission from the stewards in order to race. So he'll just need to make sure he gets a lap time within 107%, and then he'll be fine. As you see, Pepe Marti running out wide and exceeding track limits, so I highly doubt he'd be able to keep that lap time. But so far in this F2 session, it is Leo Fornaroli, the reigning Formula 3 champion, who is fastest ahead of Alex Dunn, and Roman Stanek has been able to make it 2 Invictus in the top 3, but there's a lot of drivers who have yet to post lap times so far in this qualifying half an hour.
I've got that record for you as well, by the way, from Ollie Behrman. It's a 1:23.546 as well, which he said it. But last year's pole time with the new car was a 1:24.766, so 1.2 down. But already this season qualifying, we should be looking to a time closer to the 1:23s. Now we've had the evolution. Megan Chino's had a lap time deleted for track limits. One thing though I'm really surprised at here, at the top speed, 319.5 kilometers an hour, set by Jordan King in 2017. That was 2 generations of cars ago. It's unbelievable. That was the V... Was that still the V8s back then? I can't quite remember. Oh, the blessed V8s of the F203 days.
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember. But I do remember Jack Crawford was the 2024 feature race winner, and he won from the front row. He won from P2, and he did 8 laps on the soft tyres, and then pitted and did 29 laps on the hard tyres.
Yeah, similar compound we've got here this weekend that we were discussing back in practice, and that's going to be crucial information when we come to the feature on Sunday, when the pit stops won't matter. Crucially though, as we saw last time out at Monaco, the softer compound tyre, which they tend to do the sprint race with, lasts longer here than it would do at other circuits, with the comparison which would be Silverstone in the same bracket of that tyre. A lot of traffic in turn 1. Crawford's come out just alongside one of the tridents, the first corner. I don't know if it's 23, so it's actually going to be down there, sadly, for a track limit.
Well, you were mentioning, JB, that you know, the drivers are quite used to this circuit, doing a lot of testing here, and the pre-season winter testing actually returned this year for Formula 2 and for F3, and they hadn't actually done the pre-season winter testing since 2021. You know, it got switched out to Bahrain for quite a few years, so they did return. But of course, some of these drivers are lucky enough to test the previous F1 cars on this circuit. Jack Doohan did quite a lot of testing in the Alpine last year at Barcelona, you know, here, so I'm sure they're quite comfortable with this circuit, and it's just a case of just maximising their cars and what they can do, rather than actually learning the circuit like they have to at some racetracks.
Yeah, and I'll throw you a question back, LA, actually, on that, because we were discussing in practice, Omi especially was saying that maybe we should move the testing to a ref in order to get more time in practice. Would you? Is it sort of a negative that we spend so much time testing at this track, not just with the F2 cars, but they come testing with the old F1s, they do Pirelli tyre tests here as well, day-to-day testing. Is this sort of like it's a driver's second home? So should we really check the floor, by the way, Marty's on the radio, should we try and shake up testing and go to circuits that aren't on the calendar so that we get a bit more of an interesting weekend?
I think that from a fan point of view, from a watching point of view, it'd probably be more interesting for us to see circuits that we don't ordinarily see, or we haven't seen for quite a number of years. But I think from a team point of view, and even from a driver point of view, you know, it does give an advantage later on in the season if you've tested at a track that you're going to race on. And I'm sure that, you know, tracks like Jerez, you know, how often are they resurfaced? How often, you know, are they up to Formula 1 regulation? And if they are, what benefit will that have? How will that show the teams that are testing those vehicles, those tyres, those setups, if they're not actually going to race at a track that's similar to them? I'm sure there's arguments for and against, but personally, I mean, I'd love to see Jerez at some point. You know, one of my most I don't have to say treasured memories or worst memories in Formula 1. I was a huge Jacques Villeneuve fan, and I know that you guys know what I'm about to say next. And he won the World Championship in Jerez in 1997, and the most awful thing happened when he was hit in the side pod by Michael Schumacher, and he limped all the way to the finish line. After leading, he finished third. He did finish on the podium behind the two McLarens of Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard, but it was horrendous as a fan to watch Jacques limp home at Jerez. So that has nightmare memories for me, as well as really good memories for me.
I thought you were going to mention that as well, with Schumacher hitting the side of it back in '97. I was expecting that, to be fair, to come through.
Has to be said, if you mention Jerez, apart from sherry or good wine, that's the only reason why I think of Jerez.
Yeah, the vineyard actually around there, and the turn 6, the dry sack hairpin, was actually a reference to the vineyard that's close by, since it got then renamed Pedrosa hairpin. The last corner got renamed Lorenzo, very much as a bike circuit now, and we've seen a lot of MotoGP action upon there the last couple of years. Of course, Alex Marquez won his first ever official Grand Prix there. He's won 3 sprints now, but his first Grand Prix came there earlier on. And and I shouted down Donington in the commentary box from that one. I think, Tom, you also at the end.
Fornaroli, who's currently leading with 17 minutes in, 17 minutes, sorry, to go. He's the only driver to finish in the points all of this season, so I believe.
Yeah, Mr. Consistent. He's got a lead in the championship, 70 points to Alexander Dunn on 67. But interestingly enough, hasn't actually Luke Brandon leading. Fornaroli down in third on 64, but hasn't won a race so far this year, Omi. Neither has Luke Brandon, who leads the championship, and neither of them winning races. But we've had multiple race winners across this year.
I mean, Fornaroli's only won one single-seater race. Me and Ellie were discussing last week as well. So, let alone a Formula 2 win, as Victor Martins goes to 5th position. Lindblad was going quickly. Let's see what he can do. Has he been able to keep it up? He has.
That's a much better lap time, 1:25.492. Moves the goalpost. Here comes Crawford, only goes third fastest, who is way down in 5th in the championship. Rita Miata goes up into 3rd place. Rita Miata, a driver who I can see very much being linked into Aston Martin in the next couple of years, over that of Yuki Tsunoda. I've just got a feeling that with that Honda Works deal, he might be somebody who would crawl over to that side of the fence. Arvid Lindblad then still fastest, but he's on that soft compound tyre as things stand. But yeah, back to the thing. Consistency in the championship seems to be the key, rather than the actual race wins. They're not delivering as many points. All of our race winners of the sprints at 5th down in the championship. Only the feature race winners are, well, 4th up. Crawford's the only one to win both.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Fornaroli, he won the rookie title in Freca by winning no races. He won the Formula 3 title last year by winning no races. So now we're here trying to see whether history will repeat itself in Formula 2.
I don't think that's ever been the case, is it? We nearly had it in MotoGP with Juan Mir, but he won a race and then won the championship a week later. He called it the craziest 7 days of his life to win his first Grand Prix, then win his actual Grand Prix. I am being informed that there is currently, and I can see it now, there is an issue with the timing tower where they don't have the sectors in race control. It's not a big deal because it's the overall lap time that counts, but we've got sectors appearing on our side, but over there, they have, in the pit garages, they have lost their timing page sectors. Interesting. That's not great though, because the driver comes in, where do I need to improve? I'm sorry, I don't know. I can't tell you. So that's the downside. And the signal's so spotty around here as well, due to, as I said, it's the bold nature of the venue. Because it's the only one on the calendar where no matter what direction you look at, you feel like you're in a goldfish bowl. And the signal, it doesn't just bounce around, it just sort of gets spread out in different parts of the circuit. And there's a lot of, literally behind the wall at turn 3 down to 4, there's like, literally, they can't extend the track there. There's the barrier, and then there's like a tiny road, and then there's just a sheer drop of the cliff. And down there is the industrial estate. Beautiful photo at sunset, by the way, but it's really not great for phone signal because the valley nature of this place just doesn't lend itself in. And you can see how hot it's getting now as well, and as they come through.
You, Tom, what do you think about drivers winning championships without actually being on the top step of the podium? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't mind that. To be honest with you, I'd much rather have a consistent driver than someone who just thinks they're the best driver just because they've won races. But it's points that's what matters most. I've looked into Leo Fornaroli's record in the Junior Series. He's picked up only one win, that coming in the Italian Formula Ford Championship in Misano in 2021.
Wow.
He has not won any other single-seater race, but yet he's proven to be Mr. Consistent at the moment. There was one season I remember in GP3 where Esteban Ocon, I think, only won one race that season with a whole load of second places to go with it. Or did he not win a race that year when he won the GP3 championship in 2015? Josh.
Say again, sorry?
Esteban Ocon, 2015, GP3.
Yes.
Did he win a race that season?
From memory, I seem to think he won. If I'm not mistaken.
He had a string of second places. I'm just looking to see whether
I swear he had a race victory.
he picks up a win.
Silverstone, I want to say. Let's have a look. He won round 1.
He won
Catalonia, yeah.
very first race. Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, Teo Porcher did something similar in 2023. He only won the feature race in the season opening round, and that's it. That was his only win of the season, the feature race he won. Then, other than that, it was just being up there, really.
It was actually Marvin Klirkoffer who won most races that year. Feature in Spain, feature so sprint at Silverstone, feature at Monza, sprint at Bahrain 2. And then further on as well with sprint at Yas Marina. Yeah, that was the year, by the way, that we decided to not go with Formula 1. And we went to Bahrain with the World Endurance Championship and had a weird weekend. I remember that
Incidents that you mentioned, Esteban, because that one win that he won for ART in the GP3 series was at Catalonia.
And sorry, it's quite a
But
weird.
Mick Schumacher, I mean, he only won 2 races during his
Yes.
Formula 2 season. So, you know, he bagged all his points, still with podiums, but he bagged his points of slow and steady, you know.
I wonder if there's a thing called astral projection, if that's true, because as I belt down to thing, I got a sniff of my friend's perfume. I was like, I turned around to see if she was standing in the back of the commentary box. I was like, what? But no, just weird. Just random thing that came through. Bending down, and suddenly like, what? Oh. Right, Luca Giotto had pole position back then, but he got the most poles that year with 5, actually, yeah. Ocon had pole for the last 3. But in turn, that was an interesting year. And if you wonder why we're waffling so much, it's because nothing's happening. They all know the track too well, and they've done their banker lap times, and they won't go out for the last 6 minutes or more in order to do a warm-up lap, then go, because the track temperature is in such a place now where we don't need to do what we did in Monaco and have multiple build-up laps. Track temperature at 49.6 degrees, air temperature 31.5, and LA, you must remember as well that I said this earlier on in practice for F2. No matter what time of day it was, the sun could be setting, but the track was still just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. The surface, even the grass and all the way around it, it cooks like you're at the bottom of a bowl, and it just you get so like hot underfoot so much.
Yeah, I mean, the track surfaces can get extreme temperatures, and this weekend is supposed to be the hottest of the year, including in, you know, some of the Middle Eastern countries that we've been to already. I think it's sort of around 50 degrees now, give or take. And you're right, underfoot, you know, it can burn the soles of your feet if you're not wearing appropriate footwear. But we've seen, obviously, the grass catch fire at certain races because it's so hot. And I'm not quite sure what that something's been done at Barcelona, I think, to the grass, but I'm not 100% what. I didn't quite read what I saw and overlooked it, so I'm not sure if anyone else has seen any news about the grass at Barcelona and if it's been treated or not.
It must be some with fire retardant, must it? As well, like we saw in Japan where they sprayed it, but that didn't do much good. But it rained overnight in Japan as well, so it did wet the grass a little bit.
And there's plenty of umbrellas out, of
Yeah.
course, but they're there to cover people from the sun, which is equally as important. I know, well, I'm from Manchester anyway, but I never go out without a brolly.
Is that for water or all that?
Both.
LA, by the way, we're sorting out Alton Park later on today, by the way.
Wonderful.
So just,
Sounds good to me.
Heads up. You're there, aren't you? You've got your things sorted.
I haven't, no, not sorted yet, no. But yeah, we'll see about that weekend. It's not far away. It's probably about an hour in traffic, you know, with a bit of traffic, and of course there's always a bit of traffic anyway,
Yes.
because you've got, you know, British touring cars or GT that obviously headline those race weekends, those events. So yeah, it's there's always traffic, but there's always a real interesting place on the road in. It's like I don't know if you want to call it a junkyard or what,
Ooh.
but there's always weird mannequins and things outside, and you know, you kind of think, oh, I'd love to go and have a snoop around in there and see what's there. And it's only around the corner from the track at Alton Park, so maybe one day.
I've seen enough episodes of Doctor Who to know where the Autons are. Thank you very much. So obviously.
And you were right about Teo as well, about Teo Boucher. Yeah, he just won that one race in his championship winning season in Formula 2, and that was the feature race in Bahrain.
I'm just trying to think the last time we had a situation where nobody won a race and got the championship. I don't think it's ever happened in F2. There's always been one.
At the moment, I mean, that's probably why Luke Browning's leading, because he's got 5 podiums this season already, and the most of any driver on the grid at the moment. So he's looking good. But of course, Jack Crawford, might have something to say about it. You never know; it might be his year.
I've got the memory in my head of Pantano, but he won races, didn't he? He won 9. He's tied with Grosjean.
I mean, we can agree that Nico Rosberg won races. 2005, didn't he, Josh? Interviews.
A lot of testing here. By the time you're in Formula 2, you've done 3, or maybe after 2 years of Formula 3, 1 year of something else, you've done 10 days here. So everyone's going to be tight, and I'm sure that's going to show in qualifying. I think the main thing is on the super soft tyre, or on the soft tyre we've got this weekend, it'll be 1 lap. So we'll probably get 2 opportunities. So any mistakes, and after the first push, you're not guaranteed to be in the top 10, even if you've done the fastest lap in run 1. So it's all going to be about just putting it together in that run 2. There'll be some people that go for gold, but I think for me, just a clean lap, get ourselves in the top 5, and we'll be very happy.
There's Luke Browning. Now, annoyingly, it changes, because when we changed over, so you have to sort of look back across GP2 and Formula 2, because the name changed, but it's still basically the same series. In fact, this, if you want to go back even further, was Formula 3000. It was Formula 3000, then it became GP2, then it became Formula 2, as they come through.
Was it Charles' year? Was it 2017?
Yeah, that was the first year it changed over, UK, by the way, have got the most wins by country at 31. Russia and France are joint for second with 16. Brazil have 15, Japan 14 on the list as well to round out your top 5. But Prema with the most at 44, ART with 27. But it's actually quite interesting about how many wins you've got, because Nick de Vries, Artem Markelov and Felipe Drugovich all tied with 8 wins across the series. But Nick de Vries gets it with the highest percentage, because he has 68 races and 8 wins, which makes it 11.76 win average. So just a higher percentage there that we're getting into as we go. Stat time as they come into it. Yeah, Markelov won the first ever race though. See, it's people like that you forget, like Frederick Vesti now with Mercedes. Artem Markelov dropped off. Drugovich, as LA we were discussing in Monaco, not around. Schwartzman's gone off as well. Duin, well, yeah, Porsche sort of gone round as well. Now, Porsche really wants to run in IndyCar. That's something that we learned in the Indy 500. He wants a proper run over there after doing a couple of races last year with McLaren. Still, into the last 3 minutes then. It's Arbe Lindblad still from Leonardo Folorelli, Rita Miate, Jack Crawford and Alexander Dunn the top 5. Dunn's got that 13 grid place penalty for tomorrow in the sprint race, and then a 3-place grid penalty for the feature on Sunday. So wherever he qualifies, he'll be pretty much at the back for tomorrow, which just, I think, got away with it lightly from the red flag we had in Monte Carlo. Rita Miata's got the first sector time at a 25.2, but he's down in the middle sector. Dunn's looking quick, so's Victor Martins. He's ahead, and we're watching him now. He's had a busy morning. F2 practice, straight to F1. Half an hour break, then back in for F2 quali. Over the line, he got 4th fastest. Alexander Dunn P2. So reverse that will put him actually 6th on the grid for the feature, so he's not actually losing that much in the bigger points-paying race. Megatuna for 15th, Goethe on a better lap time as well. Esserson goes into 7th, and I mean, this is just what it is now, just closing in these laps, but track delta time is going to be key here.
Yep, let's see what Oliver Gartha does. As he sends it across the line, the German driver goes to 6th position. As we see, Maney find the time for 2nd place. Great improvement for him. He's missed out on pole by 18 thousandths of a second. Extraordinary stuff from him as Beganovic goes to 7th.
Still keeping on. Villagomez struggling as well, Tom, as they come through. Slower in the middle sector. Stanek looking quick.
Yeah, he's looking quick. He was in 3rd, wasn't he, in the early stages of the session before we saw more of the lap times come in. But he's coming through the last corner now, or has gone through the last corner, has Roman Stanek. Villagomez over the line, well off the pace from what he has posted earlier. Marty up to 8th position. A valid lap time, I hope, because the previous 2, which he attempted to do, were deleted for track limits. Stanek goes up to 3rd place. Montoya, P1!
Wow.
Brilliant lap time from Sebastian.
Montoya, who's just been signed to the... oh no, Lindbrand's got him. Never mind, I can't even get my sentence out to finish. Arvid Lindbrand by 2.5 tenths per second goes fastest. 125.180, but Montoya in P2, just been signed to the Fernando Alonso, the 14 Academy. And now gets put up into 2nd position. Gets really embarrassing when you realise that in 2006 when Alonso won here, Sebastian's in the cool-down room as a baby. So it's like, oh right, that's nice. And he's still there. This was Villagomez going wide at Capsa and losing the lap time. As I said, that green is the same as what we have in MotoGP. Touch that, you're out. Oh well. Everyone stood around their phones thinking, is that it? It looks like it might be. No one's improving on deltas. 10 seconds left. Anticlimactic, but it is Arvid Lindblad who has pole position for the feature race come Sunday. Montoya in 2nd, Maney 3rd, Stanek 4th, Dunn 5th, which means he'll start 18th for the well, actually a bit further back, won't he? I'll let Omi work that out. He'll start 8th on the grid tomorrow for Sunday's feature. Where would he start tomorrow, Omi?
So he would still, of course, find himself reversed down, so it would be 6th, and then we'd add 13 places to that. I'm not good at my maths. I don't know what you are trying to ask me.
That 19th, 20th, depending on the final results, if they count that. 17, 18, 19, yeah, 19th on the grid. Let's hear from Arvid Lindblad.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. Full position. Ah, yes! Come on, boys. Oh, the car was in rocket ship all day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's do let's send it now on Sunday. Let's send it on Sunday. Thank you so much, boys.
Bit of a repeat there on the radio, but yeah, fastest in practice, took qualifying. Montoya is looking quick as well in the Prema. That's going to be something to look forward to as the flag comes out. Montoya will take it. And yeah, lap time's complete. Okay, bit anticlimactic, but good for Arvid Lindblad. You'll get it.
So
that will mean that Marty... Oh, sorry, go ahead on me.
no worries, Ali. Let's hear from Montoya quickly.
Oh, sounds like we are P2, mate. That's a good P2.
Oh my god, I love you guys. Let's go! Thank you guys. Oh my days. So P2 and Imola with a better luck. P2 and Barcelona with the... Gosh, you guys are amazing. Oh, thank you guys for the hard work. Let's go!
Go on, Amy.
He's happy, he's happy. But yeah, I was just going to quickly say that Fornaroli Dirksen, that's our exact same front row for what it was at our season opening round at Australia for the sprint race. So it'll be an interesting battle to see whether this time Fornaroli can keep Dirksen behind. I'll hand over to you, Ellie, with what you were trying to say.
Yeah, unless anyone picks up any other track limit violations, it will be Marty starting on pole, right? Because Dunn is going to lose his place.
Yes! If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe that would give it to Jose Maria Marti. Yeah, I think you're right there. It gets harder and harder to tell as Mini... Oh, do you deem that as track limits? That could be crucial because Gabriel Mini... Yeah, lap time deleted.
There we go. So who's next in the line? Who's next in the running order? Beganovic?
Yeah, because it's put Mini down into 18th now on the timing tower. They've taken it away now to try and work it out.
So Beganovic might get the pole unless more people pick one up.
There's an investigation underway for Richard for sure. That could pop it. That could pop everyone up. There's still a few that's going on here. This is the problem with turn 9 here. Let's hear from Arvin.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. It's been coming for a while, so happy to finally get it done at home. You're welcome.
Yeah, Campos' home race. And doing it strong as well. Arvid will have his at Silverstone in a few races' time, and it'll be the halfway stage of the season. Yeah, can we just get through June first? It's going to be a bit treacherous. Reminder that our coverage starts of the World Endurance Championship. The test day from Le Mans is next weekend, I think. Yeah. And the week after, we all go nuts for 24 hours. It's not much of a rest bite actually as well. Week off before another triple. You sort of just want to cry into your biscuit tin.
Yeah. So, I believe penalties are applied after the top 10 is reversed, is the information I'm getting at the moment. We'll wait for confirmation on that, but yeah.
Oh, just popped into my head actually, because I saw the Dutch flag and I thought the Russian flag. Now, I don't remember what happened last year. I don't remember what happened last year here at the last corner, where a fan displayed a flag not too dissimilar to that of a certain German country between 1939 and 1945 here at the circuit. There's actually now a strict list of what is allowed on flag lists coming into this weekend. Just pop back into my head there.
Wow. I don't actually recall that. Maybe I switched off or I was busy.
It was. I think. You were in the box with me. I think it was at the back, wasn't it, in the F2s? And I was mentioning it. It was coming into New Holland. But yeah, I don't know how they managed to get out to the circuit. But then again, they don't do that thorough checks. Literally, when I was in Spain for testing, as I'm sure you find, you go, "Do you want to search my bag?" No, everything all good. I was like, "Oh, okay." That's walking shy. Here's the results then from the qualifying session. Arvid Lindblad on pole from Sebastian Montoya. Kush Miney, Roman Salik, Alexander Dunn will have that 3-place group penalty for Sunday's Grand Prix, but 13 places for the sprint race as well. It's Richard Forshaw, Jack Crawford, Luke Browning, Joshua Durskin, Leonardo Folorelli, and then I'll put Jose Maria Marti, who have pole position for the sprint race tomorrow. Dino Meganovic, Ollie Goethe, Rito Miata, Victor Martins, Max Esterson, Emil Cordial, Gabriel Mini, Sammy Megatuniv, Clan Shields, John Bennett, and Rafael Villagomez in 22nd place. Okay, final thoughts. LA, what do you make of that session?
Yeah, it was okay. You know, it weren't the most exciting of sessions, really. And again, we did have that bit of anticlimax just at the end. But if Marty, if through all the ifs and buts, if Marty is on pole tomorrow on the reverse sprint pole, that makes both Campos cars on pole position for the sprint and feature race at their home race, their home Grand Prix.
Campos are going to be through the roof, Amy, aren't they?
Yep, and Marty, of course, being a Spanish driver himself, and he, of course, took victory in Formula 3 in 2023, so let's see whether he'll be able to do it in Formula 2, if, of course, he does get reversed to the front of the field for the sprint tomorrow.
Tom?
Looking forward to the sprint race tomorrow. See if Fornarelli can finally get his first single-seater win for 4 years. But, you know, with Josh Dirksen alongside, potentially, who has already won this season in Melbourne, he's in need of a strong result as well. So it's all to play for, really, in the sprint race. We'll find out what happens, maybe post-session, whether there are any more track limit deletions or post-session penalties that could end up impacting the grid.
Thank you, all three of you, as well as I come into it. We'll be back very shortly for our coverage of Formula 1 and the second practice session from the Barcelona circuit as well. But it's Arvid Lindblad who has pole, no matter what, for Sunday's race. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.